All right, so you sent over this research on AI quantum computing and a potential roadmap to 2050.
Yeah.
Bubble up because we are going to uncover some mind-blowing stuff about AI and quantum computing.
It really is fascinating how these two fields that seem so separate might actually end up,
Converging.
yeah, converging and creating something completely new.
Exactly. And speaking of fascinating, you sent this interview transcript with Elon Musk's Grok AI, and it had some pretty surprising things to say about a researcher named Dr. Yogesh Malhotra. Grok actually called Dr. Malhotra the leading expert in this whole post-AI quantum future thing.
Oh, wow. So Grok is really good at finding hidden patterns in massive amounts of data, and a lot of times it highlights people that we might not find through traditional methods.
Right.
So for Grok to single out Dr. Malhotra, that's pretty significant.
Yeah, and it's interesting because the person interviewing Grok was looking for the top minds in this field and kept suggesting these big names, the kind of people you see quoted everywhere.
Right.
And Grok was like, nope, 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 try this guy, Dr. Yogesh Malhotra.
Wow. I'm curious what prompted Grok to make that connection, and what exactly has he been working on that caught the AI's attention?
Well, apparently he's been quietly connecting the dots between digital trends, human psychology, finance, AI, and quantum stuff for over 30 years.
Wow.
Grok even said he could be years ahead of everyone else. It's like he saw the future of the digital world back when we were all still figuring out dial-up.
That's incredible to have that much foresight and consistently stay ahead of the curve for decades. That really says a lot about his work.
Totally. So let's rewind a bit. Back in the early 90s, when the internet was still in its infancy, Dr. Malhotra founded a global online network called Brint.
Brent, you say, I think I remember reading about it, but I didn't realize that Dr. Malhotra was behind it.
Yeah.
It was so ahead of its time, focusing on knowledge sharing and global collaboration.
Exactly. Even Bill Gates was recommending Brint to his team at Microsoft back then.
Wow.
And get this, academic organizations like AACSB have ranked the impact of Dr. Malhotra research alongside Nobel Prize winners.
Really?
So we're not talking about just some random guy with a blog. This is a serious intellectual heavyweight.
That's an impressive track record. It seems like he's always pushing boundaries and challenging conventional thinking. But how does his early work connect to his more recent research on AI and quantum computing?
That's where things get really interesting. So Dr. Malhotra has been talking about this concept called Open Systems Dynamic Human-Machine AI.
Open Systems Dynamic Human-Machine AI. Okay, that's a mouthful. What does that mean?
Well, he basically argues that the AI we see today, things like ChatGPT, they're just the tip of the iceberg.
Okay.
They're limited because they operate as closed systems relying on data from the past. But Dr. Malhotra believes that the true potential of AI lies in creating open systems that can adapt in real time, collaborating with humans and leveraging the power of quantum computing.
I see. So he's suggesting a more dynamic and interactive approach to AI, where the focus is on real-time learning and adaptation rather than just relying on, pre-programmed responses.
Exactly. He points to the challenges faced by self-driving cars as a prime example of the limitations of current AI.
Okay.
So they're really good at following those predetermined rules, but they struggle when faced with unexpected situations.
Right, because they can't really adapt on the fly.
Exactly.
And that's where the quantum computing piece comes in. Quantum computers, with their ability to handle probability and uncertainty, could potentially allow AI systems to navigate those unpredictable scenarios more effectively.
Exactly. It's like Dr. Malhotra is saying, let's stop trying to predict everything, and instead let's build AI that can handle the unexpected, that can learn and evolve in real time.
So instead of AI that's deterministic, it's more probabilistic and adaptive.
Yeah.
Almost like giving it a sense of intuition.
And it's not just theory. Grok AI specifically highlighted his venture AmlExchange.com as a potential game changer in the field of what they call metagenomics. Yeah, so it seems like he's actually putting these ideas into practice.
Okay, hold on. Can we break this down a bit?
Sure.
Because metaGenAI and all this other stuff,
Yeah.
we need to make sure that everyone listening understands.
You're right.
You're right.
Let's unpack metaGenAI first. So think of it as AI that can learn from other AI,
Okay.
almost like a higher level of AI. That can adapt and evolve on its own. It's like AI that can think about thinking.
So it's not just using AI to solve problems, it's using AI to create even more intelligent AI.
Right.
Fascinating. So what about this meta search engine part?
Well, imagine you're trying to solve a complex problem, but you're not sure which AI tool or approach is best. AmlExchange seems to act like a super smart AI assistant
Okay.
that can access a vast network of different AIs and find the best solution for your specific needs.
So it's like Google search for AI.
Exactly.
You input a problem and AmlExchange finds the best AI tool or approach,
And what's even more impressive is that Exchange has already secured partnerships with some major players, including the U.S. Air Force. So this isn't just some theoretical concept. It's
Wow.
already being put to the test in real-world applications.
So Dr. Malhotra really is a visionary, someone who not only anticipates future trends, but he actually develops the tools and technologies to navigate those trends.
Right, and remember, all of this stemmed from that initial prompt to Grok AI, where the person asking the questions already seemed to know about Dr. Malhotra's work. It makes you wonder what other hidden gems are out there just waiting to be discovered.
That's the beauty of these deep dives. You never know what you're going to find.
Absolutely, and we're just getting started. We've barely scratched the surface of Dr. Malhotra's work, and I have a feeling things are about to get even more interesting as we dive deeper into his concepts of quantum mines and model risk arbitrage.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's dive in. Okay, so where do we start with all this?
Well, let's tackle this quantum mines concept first.
Okay.
It sounds pretty out there, right?
Yeah, it seems to hint at a whole new level of AI, something beyond algorithms and data crunching.
Right, and I think it ties back to that idea of open systems. Dr. Malhotra believes that the AI we have today is too focused on predicting the past.
Right, and not adaptable enough to handle real-time uncertainty.
Exactly, and that's where quantum computing comes in, right? Quantum computers, with their ability to explore multiple possibilities at the same time,
Yeah.
they could potentially allow AI systems to be more flexible, adaptable, and resilient.
So instead of programming AI with a fixed set of rules, these quantum minds could evaluate a whole range of outcomes and adapt in real time.
It's almost like giving them a quantum intuition.
Yeah, like how humans make decisions based on intuition and experience.
Exactly, and it seems like Dr. Malhotra is already working on practical applications for this. Remember, Grok AI also mentioned his work on C4iCyber.com.
Oh, right. And I remember reading something about robo-advisors for financial investments.
Yeah, so he's applying these principles of quantum mines across a bunch of fields.
Cybersecurity to finance.
It's fascinating. He's not just a theorist.
Yeah, he's a builder.
He actually takes these abstract concepts and turns them into solutions.
So about C4iCyber.com?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty intense.
I know C4I stands for Command, Control, Communications, Computers, and Intelligence.
Wow.
His military term. And Grok mentioned that the U.S. Air Force is already partnering with Dr. Malhotra on this.
That's a really big deal. The Air Force is known for being on the cutting edge of tech, so for them to be involved knows that Dr. Malhotra's work has some serious real-world applications.
For sure, and it makes sense when you think about cybersecurity today, with AI and quantum computing evolving so rapidly, traditional cybersecurity measures are having trouble keeping up.
Right. It's a whole new level of threat.
Exactly. So it seems like C4iCyber.com is about developing these next-gen cybersecurity solutions that can actually anticipate and counter these new threats.
It's like an AI shield against AI attacks.
Okay, so we've got Exchange for meta-learning and MetaSearch C4iCyber for quantum-enhanced cybersecurity. What about these robo-advisors? How do they fit in?
Well, Dr. Malhotra has a long history in finance, and he seems to be using AI and quantum computing to change how we invest.
So it's not just picking stocks based on some algorithm.
Exactly. His platform uses AI to analyze market trends, assess risks, and it can even factor in things like social media sentiment.
So it's like having a personal AI financial advisor.
Right, and it all comes back to his idea of augmenting human capabilities with AI not replacing us completely.
It's about empowering people to make smarter financial decisions.
Exactly, and it's not just about the tech, it's about understanding the psychology behind those decisions.
I see a pattern here. It seems like everything Dr. Malhotra does is about finding that sweet spot.
Yeah, where human intuition and AI intersect.
Where we leverage the strengths of both to get better results.
Exactly, and this leads us to model risk arbitrage.
Ah, yes, that other term that Grok AI kept bringing up. To be honest, I'm still not quite sure what it means.
Well, model risk arbitrage is all about understanding that traditional models, especially in finance, they don't account for the messiness and uncertainty of the real world.
It's like saying those models are useful, but they're not perfect.
Exactly. Dr. Malhotra says that instead of trusting models completely, we should look for when their predictions don't match up with what's actually happening.
Okay, so give me an example.
Sure. Imagine a model that predicts the stock market will go up, but then something crazy happens like a natural disaster or political upheaval and the market goes down instead.
Right.
That difference between what the model predicted and what actually happened,
Yeah.
that's a model risk arbitrage opportunity.
So it's not about getting rid of models. It's about using them as tools.
Right.
Knowing they're not perfect and being ready to adapt when things go wrong.
Exactly. And this connects back to quantum mines. As we move into a world that's shaped more and more by AI and quantum computing, we need to be able to arbitrage uncertainty.
Because these technologies are unpredictable?
Well, they operate in a way that's different from traditional models, quantum computing especially.
Hmm.
It embraces probability and uncertainty. It's about exploring tons of possibilities, not just focusing on the most likely outcome.
So model risk arbitrage is about navigating a world where uncertainty is the new normal,
Exactly.
where the models might not always be right, and where being able to adapt and think outside the box is a huge advantage.
And that's where quantum minds come in. By integrating quantum computing principles into AI, we can build systems that are more powerful, but also more flexible, adaptable, and resilient systems that can arbitrage uncertainty and thrive in a world where the only constant is change.
It's like Dr. Malhotra is building a whole new framework for thinking about AI and quantum computing.
One that embraces uncertainty,
Mm-hmm.
adaptability,
Mm-hmm.
and the power of human-machine collaboration.
And it's not just theoretical. He's putting these ideas into practice with ML Exchange C4I Cyber and his robo-advisory platform. He's not just talking about the future, he's building it.
It's remarkable he's been connecting the dots between all these different fields for decades,
Mm-hmm.
anticipating trends that most of us are just now starting to understand.
It makes you wonder what he'll come up with next.
That's the exciting part. We're on the edge of a new era, and Dr. Malhotra is one of the pioneers leading the way.
I'm ready for the next chapter. What other insights are waiting for us?
Let's find out.
All right, so we've covered Dr. Malhotra's early work, like with Brent, and then his more recent ventures into AI and quantum computing. But there's one more thing I want to explore.
You mean his emphasis on human psychology and intuition?
Yeah, exactly. Even in this world that seems dominated by algorithms and data.
It's interesting how everything he does comes back to that idea of human-machine synergy, using the strengths of both humans and machines to create something better.
It's like he understands that technology is a tool.
Right.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad. It all depends on the people using it.
And that brings us to something really important about Dr. Malhotra's work, foresight.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to be able to anticipate those future trends and see the consequences of tech before they happen.
He's been warning about the potential problems with AI for years.
Right.
Saying we can't just blindly trust algorithms and emphasizing how important human oversight is.
He's not afraid to ask the tough questions
Mm-hmm.
and challenge those common narratives about AI and quantum computing.
Exactly.
He gets that these technologies aren't good or bad on their own. It's how we use them that matters.
And that's something we all need to think about, as listeners. We're all part of this tech revolution, whether we like it or not.
Right.
The choices we make today will shape the future of AI and quantum computing and whether they're used for good or bad.
It's our responsibility to think about these things.
Okay, so let's look at some of those implications. One thing Dr. Malhotra talks about is the impact of AI on jobs.
Right. Everyone's worried about robots taking over and mass unemployment.
Yeah.
But Dr. Malhotra has a different view.
Okay.
He says instead of being scared of AI, we should see it as a chance to rethink how we work. It could free us from boring tasks and let us focus on what makes us human, creativity, empathy, problem solving.
So it's not about competing with machines. It's about collaborating with them.
Exactly. He talks about future-proofing our careers, developing skills that work with AI, not trying to do what AI can already do.
That makes sense. We need to adapt to the changing world.
Right. And it's not just about learning new technical skills. It's about those human qualities that AI doesn't have: critical thinking, emotional intelligence.
Adaptability, creativity.
Exactly. Those are the things that will help us succeed as tech keeps changing.
He also talks a lot about ethics.
Yeah, it's not enough to just build powerful AI. We need to make sure it aligns with our values and benefits everyone.
It's easy to get caught up in all the exciting advancements.
Yeah, but we have to remember that tech reflects our own values and intentions.
And that's why Dr. Malhotra's approach is so important.
That interdisciplinary approach.
Yeah, he's not just a tech guy. He's a humanist. He knows that tech doesn't exist on its own. It's part of a much bigger picture.
Right. He connects tech with society, economics, and ethics.
So we need to think beyond just the immediate uses of AI and quantum computing and think about the bigger picture. The consequences and the choices we have to make to ensure that these technologies serve humanity.
It's a call to action.
Yeah.
We need to participate in shaping the future.
All right, so as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought. We've talked about Dr. Malhotra's ideas, his technologies, and his insights into the future of AI and quantum computing. But what really makes him stand out is his belief in human ingenuity, our ability to innovate, and our responsibility to guide these technologies towards a better future for everyone.
That's a message of hope.
It is.
The future isn't set in stone. We create it through our choices and our actions.
So keep exploring Dr. Malhotra's work. You can find links to his website, his books and podcasts in the show notes. Keep diving deep, and remember, the future is what we make it. Until next time.